Hello. I want to take the opportunity over the next few videos to read a couple posts that I made to a blog a couple years ago. I am losing my voice or in the process of it, so bear with me. Alright, here we go. I would like to address an issue that's been weighing on my mind for a few months. I've noticed a problem in this technological age, and I've decided to address this topic as my first post because I think it encapsulates my reason for starting this project. I saw an episode of Star Trek a while back in which the Voyager spacecraft encountered an alien race that was arguably the most evil and violent race they ever encountered in their travels across the Delta Quadrant. It was the practice of this particular alien species to replenish its numbers and conquer the universe through total assimilation. New victims considered to have adequate mental capacity to contribute to the collective were promptly brainwashed and surgically implanted with highly advanced technology that would not only make them practically invincible fighters, but more importantly, connect their mind into perfect sync with the collective. Of course, those considered unworthy or resistant were ruthlessly slaughtered. Their catchphrase? You will be assimilated. Catchy, right? Anyone who knows Star Trek will, of course, instantly know what I'm talking about. The name of Borg has possibly struck fear into the hearts of many a Trekkie over the years, and for good reason, too. They were ruthless, tyrannical, greedy, and corrupt. What made the Borg what they were? Why are they important for the current generation? The first question is quite simple. Obviously, the person who wrote the Borg into the series was a human, a very insightful human, certainly, but nevertheless quite terrestrial. The Borg are simply an exposition of human nature. They reveal what humanity intrinsically wants for better, or in this case, worse. Power, ease, and absolute unity are all things that people have been known to live and die for since the beginning of time. Name your own heroes or villains of the past and judge for yourself. Here I must come to my first point. The amount of physical, emotional, and mental damage humanity will do is directly proportionate to the availability of technology to support it. Humanity as a whole will always seek to advance their power, ease, and unity, whatever the cost. What made the Borg so powerful? It was their technology that created a unity which resulted in a relative ease in assimilating the galaxies. So you might say, the Borg were a bad bunch that were created by interlinking and assimilating minds into a greater collective. What does that have to do with the state of the current generation? Let me start by saying that I've always tried to make a point of observing culture and taking an objective approach in understanding the greater public. I will do my best to approach this subject with my best attempt at diplomacy. I seem to come into contact with a growing population of people who seem to have their mental faculties somewhat dulled. People who, for any number of reasons, social media, entertainment platforms, instant access to information, etc., have been lulled into an almost semi-hypnotic trance that feels hauntingly similar to the one portrayed in the Star Trek classic. Personally, I think I would lay it down to a lack of, or indeed an unwillingness to participate in independent thought, an imagination subdued to within an inch of its life, and almost complete reliance on the global community to shape the course of the future. And this despite the fact that the global community is made up in large part of people in the same condition, floating around on the ideals of a few main influencers and driven by the same desire for absolute power that fueled the Borg cube. In a generation that seems to have lost its will to search for truth, or indeed denied its existence altogether, we have become willing and even active victims to the global assimilation to the greater collective. I can't help but think of the words of Dostoevsky in his great work, Brothers Karamazov. In his own exposition of human nature and in protest to the great collective of his time, He wrote, and I paraphrase, "Humanity says, 'Feed me, and I will follow you forever.'" I think that perhaps that phrase best describes the condition of the modern, or should I say, postmodern, subconscious mentality. We are becoming a society that takes our ease to the point of an extreme laziness and accepted the toxic unity of globalized ideals. Don't get me wrong, I'm not here to judge any particular person. In fact, this post may be merely an exercise in self-awareness. I do, however, see some value in pointing out what I see as a very dangerous and potentially devastating flaw in the current trend of society. It is not my intention, either, to be fatalistic. I believe that there is still a deep-set desire for freedom and a personal experience with truth in most, if not all of us. Perhaps this project I've embarked upon is my own personal journey to combat these societal symptoms I see in myself. I think change starts at the dawn of a dedication to search for truth. I'll leave you with that. Major out.